Yes, hello everyone and welcome along to Football Talks and our paper round where we dive into the tabloid papers every Sunday morning looking at all of the transfer news and news around all of the major Premier League clubs. Get involved in the live chat, please give me your thoughts. Get any story in that live chat that you want to bring up and talk about as well, and we'll have a good old chat about it with everyone else in the show as well. And we are going to start with the transfer bonanza that is the Premier League this summer. It's going to be a mad one. I've just been talking about this on Forever United TV about how the Premier League clubs are going to spend big this summer. Obviously, you've got Chelsea and Manchester City who were expecting to spend big because of the Club World Cup, which is going to start the domino effect early in the transfer window, giving clubs a little bit more room and manoeuvrable finances to get deals done. Now, Arsenal. We can all start laughing at Arsenal again, and we all have had our laugh about Mikel Arteta and what he is saying. Apparently, Mikel Arteta counts Community Shields as trophies. He also thinks that Arsenal have got more points in the last two seasons than Liverpool have won the title with this season. Well, whose fault is that then, Mikel? You could say that Liverpool haven't had to play good because you haven't been that good. And that he has been, and Arsenal have been, the best team in the Champions League this season. Well, no, you've not. Because if I remember rightly, Mikel, you lost to Inter Milan and you've lost to Paris Saint-Germain twice. And both of them teams are in the final. So they are the better teams of the Champions League because they're in the final and you're not. Honestly, sometimes the stuff that comes out of that man's mouth baffle me, but I do have a good laugh about it. And you know what? He is TV gold when he goes on his little meltdowns, isn't he? But one thing that you cannot argue with Arsenal is that they have backed Mikel Arteta. And again, I think the sign of what's to come this transfer window and what Mikel Arteta is looking at in this summer transfer window is more and more and more spend. And Mikel Arteta looking at, obviously, Mendy first of all. Let's talk about that because it was said the other day that the agreement is in place. Pretty much here we go. Martin Mendy coming into Arsenal, another significant signing for the Gunners. By the end of this summer transfer window, Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, in fact, could have spent close to nearly $1 billion. It's getting closer and closer to that mark. And is this the last spend for Mikel Arteta? That's what you've got to ask as well, past this. But Mendy coming in, I think, is a massive signing for Arsenal. I think it is, personally, when you look at it from the outside, and Arsenal fans do correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Thomas Partey's situation and him looking likely to be the one that departs Arsenal, an out-and-out replacement. So that ever-present, strong Arsenal midfield, which has pretty much always been there, and you've got to give them their credit. They do have a really good midfield, one of the best in the Premier League, is and could be getting stronger with Mendy coming in. Now, I'm going to be honest, like watching Mendy recently for Sociedad against Manchester United in the Europa League, I did not rate him. But I'm not going to judge a player off of a performance in the Europa League against Manchester United as what this player is. He's a quality player, and I would take him at Manchester United in a heartbeat. We all seen when Rodri came off in the Euros final, Mendy came on, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, Spain have lost their best player, their best midfielder, bang. No, Mendy comes on, and if not, was better than Rodri in that game. That's the type of quality player that Arsenal are bringing in. That's the player that Arsenal are strengthening with. And you know what? Again, this is credit to Arsenal. They are backing their man. The nearly men of Arsenal and that manager, Mikel Arteta, being substantially backed yet again in the transfer window. Manny with the super chat, thank you Manny, says, don't laugh at Arteta, he will sign Yarez. That is the other player that we're talking about. And as you can see on the thumbnail of this video, apparently Arsenal have submitted a bid for Victor Yarez as well now. So Mendy and Victor Yarez taking Arsenal's summer spend already way past 100 million into the 130 million pound mark, with more to come. Now, what have Arsenal needed all season? What has everybody been saying Arsenal have lacked? We've seen the bid for Ollie Watkins in the January transfer window. We know that Arsenal got money to spend. We know that Arsenal clearly, with that bid, know where they're lacking. Yarez coming into Arsenal definitely makes them one of the title favourites next season. And as much as we're laughing about Arsenal now and another season of failure and what Arteta's saying, they are still backing it up, though. They're backing it up by being in there and amongst it and comfortably being in the Champions League and competing in the Champions League. It's a long way away from what a lot of other Premier League clubs can talk about right now. There's only Liverpool, really, that Arsenal can say are ahead of him. And that's not just because of the league position either. You look at Manchester City's drop-off. You look at the inconsistencies of Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester United, Spurs. All of them teams right now can laugh at Arsenal, but Arsenal's summer is pretty much set. Arsenal's summer is ready to spend big and improve again. And there's not many other clubs that can say that. Like Arsenal got to the semi-final and came close in the Champions League. They came close in the Premier League in the running. So I'm balancing this argument out where I'm laughing at what Arteta says. His team actually has produced the goods again when it comes to competing. And maybe one more big summer is the one that's going to change it. I do believe after all of this, though, if Mikel Arteta has not won a trophy next year, it's his last season in Arsenal. It has to be. If you're spending, let's say for instance, after the predicted summer spend that Arsenal are going to have this summer, which is around 200 million, going off what's been said so far. And we just talked about 2 players there. And do get into the chat. If Arsenal bring in Mendy and Yarez, does that make them title contenders? Get into the chat on that one. We will move on to other clubs in a moment as well. But when you're looking at Arsenal from where they are now, with them 2 players in, what does that do to them? Does that make them title favourites for next season? That's what you've got to ask, I think, with that sort of investment coming in. But if you take them players alone, 130 million for Mendy and Victor Gyökeres, and then you add more to that, Mikel Arteta would have spent over £800 million while being Arsenal manager. It's do or die next season for him. The only problem that I think Mikel Arteta's got is what I said at the top of the show. They're not going to be the only team spending money this summer. You've got Liverpool, you've got Newcastle, you've got Manchester City, you've got all of these teams that are now going to be right on it. Chelsea as well. I mean, you look at what Chelsea did to Liverpool the other day, look at Chelsea's form, and everybody's having a go at Chelsea and saying that they are just that nothing club and nobody cares about them. They're in the Champions League places. You cannot ignore Chelsea at the moment either. And this is what Arsenal need to be aware of. Like, it's all right backing your man, but at some point there has to be that switch has to come on for Mikel Arteta. He has to deliver. He could probably scrape away with how close he got this season with the Champions League. Unlucky against PSG. He didn't really run Liverpool that far. And I heard someone on the radio the other day talking about the most disappointed fans this season are actually Arsenal fans. The money that they spent in the summer, everything they've done, the expectation levels going into this season, they haven't challenged Liverpool. And they've fallen short in every single cup competition again because unless you win it, nobody cares. We can all talk about how close they came in the Champions League semi-final, but let's be honest, nobody really is going to look back on this Champions League and say, "Ooh, remember Arsenal? They were unlucky, weren't they?" No, they're not. And that, for me, I think, is the big thing in all of this. And Mikel Arteta, obviously, is looking to strengthen in the summer. When you look at all of the news and the reports going around right now, it is, you can see this transfer window bubbling up. But also, quickly, just on Arsenal to finish, they have actually opened talks with William Saliba to stop him leaving Arsenal. Now, obviously, we know that Real Madrid are in for William Saliba as well, but the latest report on him is Arsenal have opened contract talks, and this is from the Mirror, with defender William Saliba, reports the Evening Standard. Saliba's current contract will have 2 years left to run come the summer, and the North Londoners are keen to reward him with a new deal and tie him down long term. I think this is a must for Arsenal. Real Madrid are interested in the Frenchman, but Saliba claimed in March that he is currently happy at the Emirates, but Florentino Perez is known to be a huge admirer. And that, I think, is key to Arsenal, keeping their best players whilst trying to improve. It's all right saying that you are the nearly boys and you are consistently up there competing and everything looks good, and you can bring in what players you can, but it's what players leave as well, and that's what Arsenal have to be careful of. If they sign Saliba up to a new contract, that's probably as big as signing another midfielder for Arsenal, if not probably more important, because they're not short in that area. If they sign Saliba, they bring in Mendy and they sign Gyökeres, Arsenal are right up there next season, 100%. And I think that's going to be the catalyst. Like, we're talking about the likes of Chelsea. For instance, Chelsea in the Club World Cup. Now, there's a story going around here as well, and this we've just been talking about regarding the future of Jadon Sancho over on FUTV. But there's more to this story here as well. Chelsea warned against signing Jadon Sancho. Florent Malouda has urged Chelsea to swerve a permanent deal for Jadon Sancho. The Blues can keep the winger, who has mustered 4 goals and 10 assists in all competitions this season, for 25 million, or alternatively pay a 5 million penalty clause and send him back to United. However, ex-Chelsea and France star Malouda is sceptical about the deal due to Sancho's inconsistent form. He told Racing Tipster, "I didn't see what I was expecting from him after he joined on loan from Manchester United. For Jadon Sancho, it's not about his talent anymore. The point is more, we haven't really seen Jadon Sancho showing that he really wants to succeed on the pitch with Chelsea." Again, it just goes back to what we were talking about before. The opinions around Chelsea and Jadon Sancho look all like they're pushing him back towards Manchester United right now and taking that penalty. And that's a worry for Man United fans. It really is. Like, we don't want Jadon Sancho back at Manchester United. It's going to be a problem for us. Like we said earlier on, though, like maybe there is a way out for Jadon Sancho to Germany, and he can just go and play out the rest of his career there. That's it. And what you've got to look at is that it is the wasted talent, like Malouda said, and I don't think Jadon Sancho fits English football. That's it. I mean, you look at 10 assists and 4 goals, doesn't seem bad for a loanee. It doesn't, does it? But a lot of that have come against lesser opposition in the Conference League, if you want to even call it lesser opposition and degrade that competition that much. But Jadon Sancho is a problem, definitely, for Chelsea, and particularly Chelsea fans. Let's get into some of the comments anyway, everybody. See what you're all saying. Arsenal just let themselves down, losing to PSG after beating Real Madrid. Let's see. Momentum and sharpness is more important now. I think Ant's talking about Manchester United on that one. Let's see what else we've got in here as well. I actually think bringing in a striker changes the way Arsenal play, and maybe not for the better. Well, what is the better? Staying where they are, mate. That's what we've got to say, I think, in all of this. What is the better? Is it Arsenal where they are now and not changing the way they're playing, or bringing in a striker and changing again? I think Arsenal need to make a big, significant change. Otherwise, they're going to always be known as the Nearly Boys. Let's see. Adam, love your FUTV, but after 68 years of United, can't talk much about also Rans. Speak later on FUTV, says Don. Few typos in there, Don, buddy. I don't know what you were saying there, mate. But thanks for the support anyway. Let's see what we've got in here before we move on. Right, yeah, let's get on to some more subjects in the papers today. Running through as much of the stories as we possibly can as well. And obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo is one. Where do you think Cristiano Ronaldo is going to move to next? Just wanted to ask the question. Biggest player on the planet. A completely different story, obviously, with the Premier League stuff that we're talking about right now. But it said Cristiano's future at Al Nassr is in doubt, with contract negotiations on hold after a difficult campaign for the Saudi Pro League side. Now, Al Nassr not winning anything is a bit of a problem, apparently. And the contract talks of that new 2-year extension for Ronaldo, which was eye-watering, have been put on hold. Where should Cristiano Ronaldo move next? That's a question I just want to float in there in the chat while we move forward. I don't really want to talk too much about Ronaldo. I don't rate the Saudi Pro League. I'm going to be honest about that. The only thing that the Saudi Pro League bring in significance is money, and everybody uses it to balance their PSR books. That's it. Let's be honest. Bruno Fernandes and that story about him going to the Saudi Pro League, I don't see it happening. I'd be staggered. I'd be absolutely astounded if he did. I understand the money side of it, but I think Bruno has bigger aspirations. And how much money do you actually need? He's on a fortune at United already. It's the same with Mo Salah. Like Mo Salah, he was tempted, or was trying to be tempted away into the Saudi Pro League, but bigger aspirations, that's it. That's what you've got to look at, I think, in these bigger players. And some players that go to the Saudi Pro League, I don't think it's necessarily right just to say they're money grabbers, when really they are, aren't they? They kind of are. But again, when you look at what money is coming, they have got a significant part to play, the Saudi Pro League. And I think Ronaldo, just a freak case, a great playoff. I don't like to see him playing over in the Saudi Pro League, to be honest. I think he's just doing it to hit that own personal goal of getting 1,000 goals, 1,000 career goals. And if he does leave the Saudi Pro League, where is he going to get them goals? That's the question. Where would he go? MLS? I don't know. Like, you tell me in the chat, where do you think Ronaldo should go when it comes to his next move? Anyway, quick one on some other news going on as well. I do have to mention Harry Kane. I do have to mention Harry Kane as well. Winning his first trophy, picking up that trophy. Well done, Harry Kane. It's all done. There was the laughs and jokes about it last time out where Harry Kane came down thinking he was winning, and then the Bayern Munich conceded to RB Leipzig in the last few minutes. But yes, bit of credit to Harry Kane for winning his first major trophy. And just have to mention that. And you know what? When I actually seen him lifting that trophy, I thought, you know what? Like, actually, there's a player that actually deserves it. Credit to him. Well done, Harry Kane. Just thought I'd mention him there as well. Ray in the chat says, super chat as well. Thank you, mates. Cristiano Ronaldo, next move is retirement. Ooh, we won't like that. He wants that 1,000 goals. Where would he go? Where would he go to get 1,000 goals? What's his next club? He's not a million miles away. I think he's on? Like 800 and odd or something. I can't even remember what he's at right now. But he's going to have to really, really commit to something to try and hit that mark. Dark Row in the sack says, Adam in the chat says, Adam, from an emotional and humanity point of view, wouldn't it be only fair and deserving for Spurs to win the Europa League for the fans, as they deserve glory more than us? We had our share years ago. No, is the answer to that question. Spurs don't deserve anything. You deserve what you win. If they win it, then they deserve it. But before the game, and us saying this, no. It's whoever turns up on the day. And if you cannot handle the emotions and the atmosphere and intensity of a final, like Spurs have failed in many a times before, then you don't deserve it. Whoever wins it will deserve it at the end of the day. So I'm not saying before the game that Spurs deserve it more because they haven't won a trophy for so long. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not for all that sentimental stuff, to be honest. Red Rebellion says, well done to United fans for reaching the Europa League final. You need something to cheer about, and winning it will be a big plus for your club. Will be a good match. It'll be an interesting match. Two very, very poor Premier League sides going up against each other. Probably the hardest final to ever call, I would say. Wouldn't it? Who is your money on? I don't think anybody can predict what is going to happen with Manchester United in this final with Spurs. And I don't think, personally, when you look at United or Spurs, their run-ins in this competition, their form in the league, I don't think anybody could say there is one definite out there for winning that trophy. I don't. It's total 50-50. A complete 50-50. Simple as. Incoming Real Madrid boss Xabi Alonso is already drawing up plans for players he wants to bring into the Bernabeu. This is where everyone starts to worry. Like a big change at Real Madrid, new manager coming in, and everybody worrying about their best players heading out over to Real Madrid because they've had such a poor season. Alonso will leave Bayer Leverkusen at the end of the season and is expected to take over the manager as Los Blancos. According to AS, he has identified Jonathan Tah, Martin Zubimendi and Florian Wirtz as his top summer targets. Well, we know that Jonathan Tah is a free transfer, which Real Madrid love. And that is a worry for United fans if you are really into that Jonathan Tah transfer and United being linked with him. Zubimendi's going to Arsenal. We know that already. So, again, this one is a little bit behind. But, again, according to AS over in Spain, this is what we're looking at. Florian Wirtz is the interesting one. I don't see where Florian Wirtz fits in at Real Madrid. I personally don't see that happening at all. But it's going to be interesting to see if City do go in for Florian Wirtz as the Kevin De Bruyne replacement. So City's transfer window, I think, is an interesting one, because if they do go and break all records to bring Florian Wirtz in, do you know what? Do you know what's more interesting from the City side of things? And there are lots of reports going around about Jack Grealish again. I'd be more interested to see what Jack Grealish does next rather than Florian Wirtz and what he does at Manchester City. Obviously, the big headline will be Florian Wirtz goes to Manchester City, and that is starting to bubble and rumour up even more right now. And with Xabi Alonso leaving by Leverkusen, it is a little bit up in the air. Usually when a manager leaves, the players that he's worked with and been successful with usually leave as well. But I don't see Madrid going in for Florian Wirtz with the midfield and attacking options that they have got already. I cannot see it. And I don't see Madrid spending that sort of money on him either. 120 million is reportedly the fee. City can spend that money. But I'd be more interested to see where Jack Grealish goes next. So there's another question for the chat, actually. City go and buy Florian Wirtz. It looks like Jack Grealish is going to be surplus to requirements. We have touched on this lightly before, actually, with Jack Grealish. But where best fits Jack Grealish? I think his most successful time as a player, medal-wise, has been at Manchester City. But his most disappointing time as a player has been at Manchester City. It's a weird scenario with Jack Grealish. Where is he going to go next? That's a killer question, I think. So get into the chat on that one as well, everybody. Where does Jack Grealish show up next? Because he is going to go to a Premier League club, I think. Or he may go abroad, try something new. It's going to be a top club. I just think that Jack Grealish was wasted at Manchester City. I still do. He belonged at a club like Aston Villa where he was the main man. He could play the way that he wanted to play. That's what City bought. And then Pep killed him. He did. Yeah, well done. You've won everything there is to win. And you had a couple of alright seasons at City. But let's be honest. Pep Guardiola football has destroyed Jack Grealish. I mean, look, City fans might be alright with it. Yeah, they've won everything and they're not bothered. And they'll be laughing at us saying this right now. But still, looking in from the outside, I think Jack Grealish was wasted at Manchester City. I really do. And I think he could have done so much better elsewhere. And he might not have won the same trophies, no. But I think as a player, I think Jack Grealish definitely would have been miles better. Say, I can't imagine Jack Grealish at a Newcastle. For some reason, that fits really well for me. I don't think Newcastle can afford him right now because of the restrictions with PSR. But if there is a win for Man City against the Premier League and all of these rules over what you have to sponsor your own club for, like for instance, like if you are an owner of a football club and your other business wants to sponsor that football club, it's limited at the moment to market value. And City are about to win that case against the Premier League where that's kiboshed and gone and completely ripped up. So, for instance, Newcastle's owners, the Saudis, can sponsor the stadium for $500 million and put that into the PSR reckoning and then go out and spend what they want. So if that happens, then Newcastle will be a real threat in the transfer window as well this summer. Well, Jack Grealish, I reckon somewhere like Newcastle is perfect for Jack Grealish. Can you imagine the Geordies with Jack Grealish? But let me know what you think. Where does Jack Grealish fit in to another Premier League club? Obviously, the rival side of things, is he going to be bothered about going to another Champions League challenging side in the Premier League? Do you think he should go abroad? Almac in the chat says, United have got Florian Wirtz 2 years ago. Could have got Florian Wirtz 2 years ago instead of Mason Mount, but Eric Ten Hag talent identification is terrible. Oh, we all know that, mate. We do. 50 likes in the bag, by the way. Well over 200 in the room with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Please keep them likes coming in if you're loving the content. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you are new to Football Talks. This is going to be more of a regular thing now. More shows on the transfers in general after a few TV shows as well. We are committing to doing these shows more often. It has been difficult to find out what type of content we were going to do on Football Talks, but we're finding that this sort of stuff is the way that we are going to be going. So quick fire live updates as well, and quick fire updates and all transfer news going around the Premier League is coming your way this summer, everybody. United could have Grealish is more bothered about wearing low socks and showing off his calves. You know what about Liverpool then, Red Rebellion? No? You would take it. No, you wouldn't, would you? Do you know what? Yeah, back to Villa. That would be a story, wouldn't it? Can you imagine Jack Grealish back at Villa? Back to Villa, Adam, says Harry Maldini. I didn't even see that. Back to Villa, Adam. Rashford and Watkins off skis, in my opinion. That says Tom. Jeffrey says, Peeps, just a couple more for 50. We already did it the 50, Matt, but thanks for saying that, Jeffrey, mate. I get what you're saying, but he won a treble at City. I don't think he cares about who he's playing for in the last couple of seasons. No. But for a spectacle for us, I think we've been deprived of the best Jack Grealish. You're right, Cal. I don't think he's bothered. But I think Jack Grealish has been ruined. And I think us watching Jack Grealish has been ruined. I really do. I think that's the big thing on it. Adam, what sort of reception will Aaron Wan-Bissaka get at Old Trafford this afternoon? I think he'll get a good one. He's not one of them players really that anyone's really bothered about, I don't think. Did okay for United, but nothing great. And I don't think United fans are bothered. Jack Grealish will return to Villa, and he will get back, and we'll get back Rashford. Sorry, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Unpopular opinion: Grealish would cook in the 10 at United. Yeah, he would. I don't think it's an unpopular opinion. I mean, I would have taken Jack Grealish before he moved to Manchester City all day long. I thought he was a brilliant player at Aston Villa. It's great at City, like we said, but still, I think it has been ruined. But hey, look, let's run through some of all of the paper speculation going through today's tabloids. Arsenal have not given up hope on signing Alexander Isak, according to BBC Sport. The same publication suggests the Swedish striker Isak would be open to moving to London after top scoring again for the Magpies. A bigger concern may be the fee demanded by Newcastle, who remain determined to hang on to their star man. Yet that story is floating around as well in the papers this morning. I'm just going to get through a couple more stories as well. The Casemiro story is doing the rounds still in the papers this morning. Arsenal closing on Garcia. Martin Zubimendi's move to Arsenal is already all but done, and they are now said to be closing in on a second summer signing. Step forward, Juan Garcia, the Espanyol goalkeeper, who was linked heavily with the Gunners last summer. Why would you want to come into Arsenal behind David Raya? He belongs in a club playing first team football. I would find it mental, but that's coming from the Independent this morning. They're claiming that the 23-year-old goalkeeper, who has also been linked with Manchester United in recent weeks, is close to being done. And so Juan Garcia, a goalkeeper, going to Arsenal, when really, again, there's two stories here in the papers this morning. Villa going for Garcia as well. What about bleeding Martinez? Two of the best keepers in the Premier League, and you've got both of them clubs looking to take in Juan Garcia as a number 2. And you got Man United stuck with bleeding Onana. I mean, dear God, what is going on? AC Milan are looking to sign Kyle Walker permanently as well. AC Milan will push to sign Kyle Walker permanently this summer. The right-back joined the Rossoneri on loan in January and has enjoyed a successful time at the San Siro. According to Milan Live, the Serie A side are keen to keep hold of the Englishman, though will seek to discount on the 4.2 million option to buy in the clause in his loan. So they don't even want to pay the 4.2 million for Kyle Walker. What a fall for him. Liverpool fans, transfer blow for Darwin Núñez. River Plate General Secretary Stefano De Carlo has ruled out a move for Liverpool star Darwin Núñez. I think Darwin Núñez probably play in Europe somewhere. It all depends what Liverpool want for Darwin Núñez, I think, more than anything. But yeah, going back to Argentina, or going over to Argentina, I don't think that's a move really fit for Darwin Núñez, to be honest. No disrespect to River Plate, but you're not looking to move there in your late 20s when you're supposedly in your prime, are you? That's not what we're saying. Núñez is also eyed by 2 top clubs as well, so this is an interesting one for Liverpool. Atletico Madrid and Napoli are weighing up summer swoops for Darwin Núñez. Now, that I can see. I think Darwin Núñez moving to an Atletico Madrid or a Napoli is perfect for him. It really is. Liverpool are expected to target a new striker this summer, which would leave Darwin Núñez free to move on. Corriere dello Sport saying that a move to either Italy or Spain could be on the cards, with Napoli and Atletico Madrid admirers of the Uruguayan star. Again, it's just showing that this transfer window is really going to start hotting up. Another quick one as well, just on the Arsenal side of things, just going through as many stories as I possibly can. Arsenal have Nico Williams and 2 other names on their shortlist, as well as Yarez and Zubimendi. They want to bring in Nico Williams to compete alongside Gabriel Martinelli. That is a story that's going on. They're also looking at Borussia Dortmund's Jamie Gittens and Rafael Leao from AC Milan. Arsenal spending huge amounts of money, it would seem, this summer. They're also looking to, like we just said, on Saliba's contract, as well as obviously Trossard's contract. They're trying to nail him down as well. A few other stories going around, but that pretty much covers most of the outstanding stories, I would say, in the papers this morning anyway. But lots of stories going around Arsenal, Liverpool, and obviously Manchester City. Let's get into a few comments on all of this before we wrap up the show. Arsenal getting Zubimendi, Yarez, John Garcia and Nico Williams would be excellent transfer business. Arteta would have no excuse to not win something. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Are we linked to Theo Hernandez? He's leaving this summer. We was linked to Theo Hernandez, but I don't see that happening now for Manchester United. No, that was a January transfer. January transfer one. Let's Walk and Walk says, the problem with Jack Grealish is that he never ever has been a winger. At Villa, he's a player played at number 6, 8 and 10, and later at Villa his starting position was on the left, but literally had a free role. Yeah, he needs to be given that freedom. I agree with that comment there. Newcastle will make Isaac too expensive for anyone to purchase. They don't want him to lose him. I don't think Newcastle need to sell Isaac. I don't think anyone's got the money to sign Alexander Isaac either. I really don't. So, yeah, I'm pretty... I mean, Geordies will be happy that he is staying. I'm pretty convinced he will be staying at Newcastle. No way Williams joins Arsenal unless he's a guaranteed starter, especially as he'll be on over 350k a week. It's an interesting one with Arsenal looking to strengthen their depth. Like Joan Garcia coming in, I don't get that at all. Nico Williams, I don't think he's going to want to play second fiddle. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think with Manchester United coming into this window, I think we've got better options to give players more game time than a few of these clubs competing for these players. And if United do get Champions League football, then I think United are in a better position than most of these clubs that we're talking about right now, like Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City. I think United are actually in a better position because we have got spaces that we need to fill. All of these other clubs are strengthening the depth. And this will creep into the player's mindset, I think, in terms of, should I go there? I'm going to get the game time that I want. I think that's got to be something that's on these players' minds as well. And definitely, just to go back on the FUTV story as well, Sandro Tonali to Manchester United. That report going around, Nico Scherer, Italian journalist, saying that United and Manchester City are both trying for Sandro Tonali from Newcastle. I'm just going to say it again, like I said it on FUTV earlier on, that will never ever happen. Never in a million years will Sandro Tonali leave Newcastle for anyone else in the Premier League, I don't think. There would be outrage, especially after what Newcastle have been through with him and how they've backed him through the ban and everything that's happened to that player. I just don't see that ever being on the cards at all. Great player, would take him in a heartbeat. I think he's a brilliant player, but I just know it's not going to happen. Adam, not only that, we have been so bad that players know they can become instant cult heroes with us. That's a good comment, that. Cheers for that one, and he's right, to be honest. I think Tonali goes back to Italy. I don't think anyone will match what Newcastle United want for Bruno Guimaraes or Isaac, says Ross. No, difficult signings, to be honest, for anyone to make out of Newcastle. And they're in a strong financial position and will be even stronger this summer. So no need and no panic. is the Newcastle situation. Look, that is your paper round. Everything done and covered. I will see you all on FUTV after the game later on, everybody. A few bits to do this morning myself. Got quite a busy morning before we head out to Old Trafford. So, again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, mods, for helping out in the chat. Anybody who's new to the channel, please put a like on the video if you enjoyed it. More of this to come, and make sure you also hit that subscribe button as well, everybody. Thank you. I will see you all later. We're looking to try and make this as daily as possible with these streams now on Football Talks as well. So, again, thanks for all your support, everybody. And again, I will be back later on FUTV. So, have a great Sunday, and see you all in a bit.